All right, guys, so this is question number 3 from the word functions worksheet. And we're just going to go ahead and take a little bit of time to work through it right now. All right, so you can read the word problem. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but take time to read through that. The question asks, write a function that represents total sales dependent on posters, shares, and TV views. Okay, so I'm supposed to write something representing the total sales. So this is a little bit easier than the last one, as I already know what the whole purpose is. The whole purpose is to find the number of sales based off of the information that I have. So I'm going to put an S for sales, okay, and this is the total number of sales. That's important because this is not the money made from sales. This is the total number of sales. So I'm going to make sure that I'm very clear when I identify my variables. Okay, then it also says it's going to be dependent on the number of posters. So I'm going to put P is the number of posters in the store. Okay, I'm going to have the number of shares. So I need a new variable here. It is shares on Facebook. So I'm going to put an F for number of shares on Facebook. And then I've got the TV views, right? So I'm going to add in the TV views there. So T is going to equal the number of TV views. Okay, so now I'm going to write the function. Now that I've defined the variables, I'm ready to write the function. So I'm going to say that the number of sales, which is dependent on the number of posters, the number of Facebook shares, and the number of TV views, is equal to, well, it says for each poster in the store, so this is up here, for each poster in the store, they will sell 100 copies of the CD. So 100 for each poster. All right, then it says for each friend that shares the video on Facebook, there will be 10 buyers. So that means I'm going to add 10 for every Facebook share, right? And F is the number of shares on Facebook. So I very literally wrote here exactly what was there, right? There are 10 more buyers for every number of share on Facebook, all right? Now the last one's a little bit more challenging, but I think you guys can figure it out. 1 out of 20 who see the commercial will buy it. So this is a fraction, 1 out of 20. It would be easier if it said just half. You'd know that was 1 over 2, but 1 out of 20, okay? Half just means 1 out of 2, so this is 1 out of 20 times the number of people who view it on, and this is the number of TV views, all right? So there we got our function. That's letter A. Now, letter B says, if the CDs sell for $20 each, write a function that shows how much money will be made dependent on the number of CDs sold. Now, this should be a little bit easier. This is asking for how much money, so I'm going to put M, or you could put R for revenue, okay? This is the money made from sales, okay? So the money made depends on, and that's what it says. It says dependent on the number of CDs sold. Now, I already got that for S, right? So that is S, okay? And that's it. So now I'm going to, that information is given me to. Each CD that is sold is $20 each. So I'm going to put 20 times the number of sales. Okay? So I've got 20 times the number of sales. Now that that's ready, I'm done with letter B. That's all it was. A function that shows how much money will be made. The money made will be 20 times the number of sales, $20 per sale. Perfect. All right, now I'm on letter C. Letter C is, now use your functions from A and B to determine how much money she would make if there's 2 posters, 30 friends sharing, and 10,000 people who watched the TV commercial. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and first we're going to find the number of sales. So the number of sales is dependent on the number of posters, which it says is 2, the number of friends sharing, which is 30, and the number of people watching the TV commercial, which it says is only 10,000. Must not have been a very popular channel. Okay, so that will be equal to 100 times P plus 10 times F, right? That's F right there. And then plus 1 over 20 times 10,000. This will give me the number of sales. Okay, so I can go, I'm going to do all the multiplication first. 200 plus 300 plus 1 over 20 times 10,000, do it on your calculator, is 500. So that gives me a total of 1,000 shares. All right, so now I know that S equals 1,000. Now, if that's the case, I can put that into the amount of money made, because that's what I'm really interested in here. So I'm going to go the amount of money made depends on those 1,000 sales, which is equal to 20 times 1,000, because that's how many sales they were. And I get my final answer, which is the amount of money made is $20,000. Ta-da! That's our final answer for letter C. So you can see hopefully the process that we went through. Define your variables, go through the problem, try to describe each of those variables in a sentence, and then we move on to being able to actually use the functions. All right, that's it. I hope that's helpful, and we'll see you in class.